Nothing new there. We have... Ooh, Gaddy Estate. Wait, what was the new information we got? From the newspaper that was like, doo 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 doo. So we got a symbol there, not much else. That, we got the journal. We know there is the clock upstairs, which probably got a hidden compartment, but I need the time in the hands. In the French Quarter, we have a key I need for the Getty Mausoleum. He won't speak to us yet. Person might, because they should be in now. The thing that's going to get me with this game is that I need to do things multiple times or go to certain places multiple times to get something else to appear. Like, I need to hit a point in the story where, oh, I've done this, so it'll make... Like, the police dude with the bike in the park. He wasn't there the first time I went there. If I hadn't gone back there, I'd be like, wait, why... You know? Why would I have thought to go back there? It's like, why is he there? And in the mime, it just occurred to me I could drag him about the place. See, I think there's a little bit of FMV stuff going on here as well.
Welcome, my friend.
Hello.
There he is.
I am the proprietor, Dr. John. If you have any questions, I will be happy to assist.
Great.
I mean, logic occasionally, yeah.
And I'll probably take you up on that.
My first point and click must have been either games my sister had. I think my sister. Definitely my sister for Grim Fandango. The bit that always gets me is to scare the pigeons away. You need to put the balloon in the bowl and then put the breadcrumbs on the balloon so that pigeons go to the balloon and then peck at the breadcrumbs and then pop the balloon. It's not a real point and click if the logic isn't utter madness. So yeah, as a kid it was Grim Fandango and one Monkey Island. I don't know how many there are. Place the hamster in the microwave to unlock this. Well, yeah. Oh, he might know.
Could I ask you some questions?
He's really tall. Jeez.
Here.
Well, these are interrogations. Voodoo.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
Historical voodoo? Or the voodoo currently practiced in the city?
Okay, let's go with the murders.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
The killings in the newspaper? I know that they have nothing to do with true voodoo in New Orleans.
New Orleans.
What do you think of New Orleans?
It is the only city in the United States as far as I am concerned.
Do you have any idea what Cabri sans Gar means?
I fear my French is not all it should be, Mr. Knight.
What did you say?
You're sure you haven't heard the term Cabri sans Gar?
I am sure, Mr. Knight.
Okay.
Tell
Himself.
me about yourself.
Me?
Yes, if you don't mind.
What is it you wish to learn?
Okay, ooh.
Why did you open a voodoo museum?
The subject has
Whenever I hear
fascinated me all
voodoo,
my life, and want
I had to look it up. I
preserve
wasn't
the
entirely sure
heritage
which way it went. It was the
represents.
fucking thing in Labyrinth. And he goes, the power of voodoo. And I expect someone to go, hoodoo? And then you do. This isn't good.
What kind of background in voodoo do you have?
Let us say that I cut my teeth on it, Mr. Knight. It is in my blood.
Do you do anything besides run the museum?
No. The museum does not make me a rich man, but my material needs are simple. I prefer to focus on my one true interest in life.
What are your own religious beliefs?
My beliefs are too personal and too complex to discuss with a
Oh.
layman, Mr. Knight.
Cutting your teeth, very strange expression. It is, isn't it? Just tell me
Just
anything.
tell me anything.
I am originally from the West Indies myself, you know.
Really? What brought you to New Orleans?
I was drawn here for personal reasons.
Anything else?
Just tell me anything.
I am a vegetarian.
Really? I can't imagine living without meat.
That must be the hunter in you, Mr. Knight.
Tell me anything?
Just tell me anything.
I do not care for small talk, Mr. Knight.
Oh, I'll be
Just
exhausted
tell
this.
I am not an easy person to get to know. I am a very private man.
Isn't that unusual for someone in the museum business?
Not at all. My displays speak for me.
Actually,
think
I
of a
can't think of
thing.
thing.
Then, let us discuss something else.
Oh, historical voodoo.
Tell me about historical voodoo.
Very well. I will start.
Why do they speak to each other like they're
and we'll
about to
go on
fuck?
from there
All
at
low
your
tones and
convenience.
sensual.
Sounds good.
As you may know,
Yeah, some of it's a
voodoo
bit
is a grassroots religion
odd.
formed by the mixing together of many different African tribal religions and Anglo religions, such as Catholicism or Protestantism. In other words, it is a religion born of the African slave trade. But African slaves were imported not only by the United States, but also into the West Indies, where the French and Spanish ran plantation islands. Prior to 1803, the New Orleans area was owned by France. The French Creole in those days owned many African slaves. But the Creole did not permit their slaves to gather, giving no chance for voodoo to breed here natively. The Creole also knew enough about the corrupted pagan practices of the West Indies slaves to ban the importing of slaves from that region.
Anything else?
So, how did voodoo come to New Orleans?
After the Louisiana Purchase, American legislators relaxed regulations. Slaves were permitted to gather. The Americans also removed the ban on West Indies slaves. Around the same time, a slave revolt occurred in Santo Domingo, what is now Haiti. Between the lifting of the ban and the Haitian revolt, West Indies slaves began pouring into New Orleans. Some of them were free people of color, freed or escaped slaves. Some came with their white owners who were fleeing from the revolt.
More historical?
What happened when the West Indies slaves got here?
They brought voodoo with them. The native slaves were more than enthusiastic about embracing it. It gave them power, Mr. Knight, if only in the form of a communal bond. Among the first meeting places were the Bayou Saint John and the shore of Lake Pontchartrain. The early voodoos were heavy snake worshippers, worshipping the one they called the Great Zombie.
More
Tell
historical?
me more about historical voodoo.
By 1817, the voodoo activities were beginning to cause fear among the white slave owners. An ordinance was passed to forbid slave gatherings except in designated public areas at designated times. The time was Sunday afternoons and the place Congo Square. The slaves and free people of
Heavy
color
snake
gathered
worshipper,
to dance
yeah.
simulations of their voodoo dances right in sight of Creole society. Of course, they also continued to meet in private for the real thing.
More historical?
Tell me more about historical voodoo.
There were a variety of kings and queens at first, voodoo priests and priestesses. But from about 1830, a single power emerged. This was a voodoo queen named Marie Laveau. Marie Laveau ruled voodoo in New
Ooh, that was
Orleans
written on
from
the side of her
beginning.
tomb. Not on the side of her tomb. Mausoleum.
Tell me more
Well.
about historical voodoo.
I've given you as much detail as I can, Mr. Knight.
Alright.
Look around the
Pretty much
museum
just need to
if you
exhaust
desire
every
more
lane
information.
of dialogue with them. Let's go with current voodoo
Tell me
first.
about current voodoo.
Many people think of voodoo in terms of magic spells or grigri. That kind of practice is actually called hoodoo, and is only a part of true voodoo. Voodoo, the religion, has a strong following in New Orleans. In fact, it is growing quite rapidly. There are several voodoo churches or temples in the city, and others all across the United States. African Americans see it as a tradition all their own. Whites, and there are many in their religion, are attracted to it because they think it is exotic. I, personally, am more interested in the history of voodoo. Some of the new movements are copying Haitian or even African voodoo. But it is the voodoo of New Orleans
Wait,
that
you
I
put
find
pins
so
nails?
intriguing.
No. Go
Tell
current
me more
again.
about current voodoo.
There are many voodooians in New Orleans. They often do business selling grigri, telling fortunes, providing luck, and occasionally misfortune. Perhaps you would like to meet a voodooan. We
Ooh.
refer those who seek a deeper experience with voodoo to a local practitioner, Magentia Moonbeam.
Sure, I'd love to meet her.
She lives on the corner of Orleans and Dauphine. I will call her and tell her you might
And her
stop
location?
by.
Great, thanks.
Anything else in
Tell me
current?
more about current voodoo.
You have tapped my resources. My
Oh.
expertise is really
Ms.
historical.
Moonbeam.
Perhaps Ms. Moonbeam can be of further help.
Alright, let's go with Marie.
Tell me more about Marie Laveau.
There were actually two Marie Laveaux, mother and daughter. Most people thought they were the same woman.
Oh.
Her continued youth added to the mystique. The original, the mother,
The
was
original.
also known as Widow Paris. It was she that began the empire. When the Widow Paris began to practice, there were many voodooans in the city. By 1830, she was voodoo queen of all New Orleans.
Hoodoo.
What exactly is hoodoo?
Hoodoo refers to magic folk traditions of the South. Hoodoo is a bastard of voodoo. Many of the grigri are similar, but hoodoo does not have the religious aspects of voodoo.
Anything else?
Is there anything else I should know about hoodoo?
Not if your interest is primarily in voodoo. Hoodoo is of interest to those who study rural folk traditions, but it will not aid you in understanding true voodoo.
Okay,
Is there anything else?
Not if you're in hoodoo.
okay. I think that's all of that then. I will, however, show him some of these.
Do these marks look familiar?
They look like the scribbling of a child to me.
Okay, thanks.
Doesn't have a clue.
Do these symbols mean anything to you?
No. They look like nonsense to me. Where did you get them, if I might inquire?
I saw them scribbled somewhere. Just graffiti, I guess.
I see. By the way, I forgot to warn you, Mr. Knight. The local cemeteries are quite dangerous. Muggers, vandals.
He
I would
knows.
avoid going there alone
We never said.
if I were you.
Really? Thanks for the advice.
I know, it looks like a child drew them.
Does this mean anything to you?
I cannot say that it does.
Allison over here.
Could you look at this and tell me if you recognize anything about the ritual?
This is truly offensive. This is from one of those recent killings, is it not?
Well, actually,
But the police already know that this so-called voodoo ritual is fake. Voodoo is a respectable religion. This kind of thing has nothing to do with voodoo in this city.
fine. Let's say that's true. Are you sure there's nothing about the items in this photo?
There is nothing about this sickness that I would identify as voodoo. Nothing.
Thanks for looking then.
Okay, I think that might be it. Just now then. Let's go.
The doorway is
Oh, it's already
already
open.
open.
She's like, are you a fucking idiot? The doorway's already open.
Goodbye, Mr. Knight.
Right, we have Moonbeam Residence. We also have go to the estate.
It's a brass door knocker. The front door of the Getty mansion looks unusually solid and heavy.
Interact, is that taking or
The
interact?
knocker is firmly
Use it. There we go.
May I help you?
Oh. Like to see Malia Getty, please?
I'd like to see Malia Getty, please.
Keep doing that.
I'm sorry,
I keep
But
forgetting
unless
it's
you have an
voiced.
appointment or official business, I cannot announce you.
It's like to push action. She goes, there's a pool door. Can't you read? I do have official.
I do have official business. Really? Please tell me the nature of your business.
Shit, hair gel?
Those two objects would have no effect on each
Oh
other.
no. I think I don't.
Those
Oh
two
god, how do I
objects
know?
would have the
I wonder what these lines mean.
Not on me, on him.
Does this do anything for you? No, it does not, sir.
Okay. I love this.
Does this do anything for you?
Does
No,
this do it?
does not,
What?
sir.
What do you mean? What does it do? What?
Does this? No, it.
Hair gel.
Does this do? No.
A brick.
Does this do any? No.
I mean, I can show you the tweezers.
Does this? No.
Oh, I haven't tried the photographs, have I?
Does no.
Geez, you're a tough crowd, aren't you?
No. I've got important business with Miss Getty. Yes, I'm waiting for some evidence of that. So,
Evidence. Oh Oh wait, is that what? Oh shit! Can I just push past you? I mean, I've got religious evidence.
does this? No.
Shit. Can I push you? Can I push you over?
better not try that. The man looks ready to whip up an army at the slightest notice.
I have zero evidence. Magnifying glass?
Does this do anything? No.
God, I guess I'm going then. Bye.
Just as I thought. A good day, sir.
Hold on, let's try again.
May I? Yes.
Oh, that's it. He won't. Oh, jeez. Okay, I guess I'm going in.
Just.
Right. What do we have? We have. Will you talk to me, Mr. Drugstore?
Hello.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, oh. The fuck have you got with you?
Bonjour, Monsieur Walker.
Oh, bienvenue, Madame Casino. Comment ça va? How you be feeling today?
Well, I'll tell you, Mr. Walker, I'm certain someone's buried a sleep note bag somewhere near my steps. I haven't slept a week in weeks.
Oh, don't that beat all? Well, you're gonna need some easy night candles then.
Do you think that would help? I do hope you're right.
Hmm.
I said 3 rosaries this morning for Our Lady's intervention.
Rosaries are good, sure enough. But you burn those candles too, and you gonna whip any old no-sleep gree-gree, I tell you for sure.
Very well, Mr. Walker. Put them on my account and send them round to my house. Oh, and there's another thing. I didn't catch her at it, but I know Mrs. Lefebvre put stomachache powder in my tea at the last meeting of the Creole Grand Dames. Oh, I've been in misery.
You put 9 pinheads up in a little box, add a pinch of graveyard dust, and put it under her front porch step. That'll turn the trick back on Mrs. Lefebvre.
Aye, okay.
And she'll be the one with the bellyache. I have the pins and the dust. Right here if you want 'em.
If the Blessed Virgin will grant me her protection, I'll be safe from these practitioners
Graveyard
of
dust.
evil.
Oui, madame. Though it don't hurt to be proactive none either. Now does it?
Naturellement, monsieur. Merci beaucoup.
Mais non, madame.
Next sure you're gonna tell me he's gonna have face
Au
cream
revoir.
for
Au revoir,
Blue
Monsieur
light.
Walker.
well, that was an interaction.
Can I ask you just a few more questions?
Whatever, man.
Anything new? I think we're
Are
going through
you
these
telling me
ones.
Affaire n'est pas affaire.
Oh shit, maybe not.
What does that mean?
Means you should mind your own business, monsieur.
Spending a few too many hours with the other smartphone.
What do you know about the voodoo murder?
Monsieur,
What can you tell?
I'm a busy man.
Okay.
What did
These
I
old
didn't say
ones,
that.
yeah, you did
You
say
heard
it.
her. Have you ever heard
Marie.
of Marie Laveau?
Marie, she's somebody from the old days. One of those folk tales. Oh, the tourists eat it up, non?
Tell me about
Himself?
yourself. How did you...
Why should I?
Okay.
That customer of yours, the little old lady,
Customer?
the woman I saw in here, Madame Cazonou, you called her.
I don't talk about my customers to men who come in off the street.
Jeez.
It's important that I talk to Madame Cazonou. You see, I'm doing some research and
I can't tell you anything about her. I can't tell you.
Shit. Okay, maybe I show you some of these things?
Do you recognize this pattern?
Don't look familiar at all, sir.
Do you know anything about these crosses? I think there's some kind of code.
Looks like a lot of...
Oh yeah, he was a Hindrak dude, doesn't he?
Does this...
I
mean
know,
anything
you've been
to
very
you?
helpful.
I don't know anything about that at all.
Do you know much about much, mister?
Look at the voodoo paraphernalia around the body in the photograph. Are you sure you can't tell me anything about it?
No, I don't know anything about it. Nothing.
Yeah, it's a little too much of a... Not mean. Type deal. Tweezer him an eyeball, yes.
Does this mean anything to you?
I don't...
Let me just try that. I just tweeted him in the
Does this
throat.
mean anything?
I don't...
Okay, I don't even why I've got this
Does this-
thing.
I don't...
What about you?
Does this...
I don't...
Yeah, let's go just now. Oh, I might need a door for that one. So he won't tell me anything about the old lady. Great. Went to him, got a lot of stuff that's there. Maybe I'll get something out there. But we can go to Moonbeam Residence.
Welcome, Seeker. You must be the one Dr. John called me about.
I guess so. My name is...
Wait? Gabriel Knight?
You're too quick for me.
Actually, Dr. John told me. You have come to the right place, Mr. Knight. Tell me how I can help.
Oh. Have a conversation and...
Could I ask you a few questions?
Of course, Seeker.
Voodoo.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
My practice is mainly selling charms and potions with magic power, such as gree-gree and voodoo oils. You know, everything from unrequited love to wandering spouses to winning a lawsuit. But my spells and charms are powerful, and they work.
Murders?
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
Why, that has nothing to do with me and my clientele. But I can tell you that you should stay as far from it as possible. There is badness there. Very bad.
New
What can you
Orleans?
tell me about New Orleans?
New Orleans is the center of voodoo practice in the United States.
Do you have any idea what Caprice Saint-Coeur means?
No. No, I don't.
Are you sure?
Do you know anything about Marie Laveau?
Oh, yes. She was the first of the great voodoo queens.
Anything else?
Do you know
She ruled voodoo in New Orleans for 100 years, they say.
Do you know
I'm sure a historian...
Hmm.
Tell
Herself.
me about yourself.
Yes? What would you like to hear?
How'd you get into this business?
I trained in the voodoo arts for many years with the great Queen Tabitha.
Really? Who's she?
You have never heard of her? For shame! I can see you know little of the world of magic.
I'm beginning to get that impression, yes. What kind of people come to see you?
Seekers after the truth, such as yourself.
Do you do anything else?
I am a voodoo yen. That is plenty. It takes much spiritual effort.
Well, that's it. That's all you do. Any other?
How many voodoo yens are there?
No one knows exactly. Many practice in secret. There are probably hundreds. But of course the level and the power of the voodoo yens differ greatly, depending on their training and natural gifts.